Shedeur Sanders isn't allowing any Joe Flacco slander ahead of their camp battle. Before reporting to training camp on Friday, Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders made a couple of stops out in the community. On Wednesday, he hosted the Garden Valley Fun Fest for community members who were recently impacted by a tragic fire. A day later, Sanders was at KFC giving away free food, as part of a challenge with the restaurant chain that his family has a sponsorship deal with. While Shedeur was giving away food at a Cleveland location, his older brother and Tampa Bay Buccaneers safety Shedeur Sanders was doing the same in Tampa, and big brother Deion Sanders Jr. was doing it back in their hometown of Dallas. For the younger Sanders, this was a great moment for him to connect with Browns fans ahead of training camp. In true Cleveland fan fashion, they made sure to let the rookie quarterback know how they were feeling as they rolled through the drive-thru. Unfortunately, some of those feelings were insults for Sanders' teammates, but the first-year quarterback made sure to shut that down. Streaming the entire thing on Twitch, one group of fans had some disparaging words for veteran quarterback Joe Flacco. Sanders quickly denounced those words, letting the fans know that him and Joe Flacco are cool. The fans respected what the rookie quarterback had to say, but they did make it known they like Sanders more than the other QBs. This is typical fan behavior when a team has a quarterback competition. A lot of people pick sides and go to war. However, Sanders and all of the QBs in the crowded quarterback room have consistently made it clear they're all good with each other and are just having a healthy competition. They will all compete in training camp over the next month and will let the best man win the job. Although Sanders was the last quarterback added to the room, he definitely has the most support outside of the building, as he became an instant fan favorite. His work in the community since arriving in Cleveland has already won over the fans. Now he must try to win the starting job and deliver for fans on the field. By the time the Colorado summer sun crept over the practice field, Shedeur Sanders had already thrown 47 passes, 46 of them tight spirals. The 47th had missed, a rare thing, and he was still thinking about it when he saw the headline flash across his phone screen. Joe Flacco washed? Or just a camp arm? He scoffed. Not at Flacco. At the disrespect. Shedeur was raised better than that. Raised by a quarterback, a Hall of Famer, and more importantly, by a man who taught him what respect meant in a locker room. So the next time a reporter tried to sneak the question in, something like, "Are you looking to prove that Joe Flacco's best days are behind him?" Shedeur didn't hesitate. "Nah," he said, towel around his neck, sweat still dripping from his brow. "I'm not allowing any Joe Flacco slander." The scrum chuckled, thinking he was being diplomatic. He wasn't joking. See, Shedeur knew what was coming. Flacco was 40, sure. But there's something about a Super Bowl ring that still weighs heavy in a quarterback room. Shedeur could feel it every time Flacco walked past, like the quiet hush when a veteran enters the room. No need for loud bravado, just presence. And presence wins battles. But so does preparation. That's why Shedeur was up at 5:12 a.m. most mornings, studying film. Not just of Flacco, but of Flacco in 2012, back when the world said he was elite and no one dared to question it. That version of Flacco had a cannon and ice in his veins. That version beat Brady, beat Manning, beat anyone who stood in front of him. That version might be gone. But Flacco, still here, still calm, still 6 feet 6 inches, still humming back shoulder lasers and 7 on 7S like time was a myth. "Man's got a touch pass like he's dropping dimes from a blimp," said Jamari, one of the rookie receivers, after the second week of camp. Shedeur just nodded. See, he wasn't threatened. He was measuring. Because greatness isn't just about being better than someone else. It's about being better than yourself yesterday. And if iron sharpens iron, then Joe Flacco was the whetstone. "Let the media talk," Shedeur told Travis Hunter one afternoon in the weight room. "They don't see the work. They just want a headline." Travis grinned, loading another plate. "So what's the headline you want?" Shedeur didn't pause. "Competition built me." The camp battle wasn't flashy. No drama. Just two quarterbacks taking reps and dicing defenses. But inside the locker room, a quiet respect was growing. Shedeur wasn't the brash young kid people thought he'd be, and Flacco wasn't the washed-up vet they expected. Coach Prime watched all of it with folded arms and a quiet smirk. He knew what he was doing. You don't bring in Joe Flacco to just warm a bench. You bring in Joe Flacco to push your son. You know, Deion said one evening after practice, "Pressure busts pipes, or makes diamonds." Shedeur grinned. "I've been under pressure. I'm a diamond already." Dion raised an eyebrow. We'll see. By the third week of camp, the reporters stopped asking about the battle. They started asking about the dynamic. Because here was something you didn't see every day. Two quarterbacks, 15 years apart in age, genuinely working together. On off days, Shedeur was picking Flacco's brain about defensive disguises. And Flacco, to his credit, wasn't holding anything back. Look, I've had my shot, Flacco told a small group of media one day. If this kid's gonna be the face of a franchise someday, I'd rather he be ready. He said it with no bitterness, no shade. Just facts. But that didn't mean he wasn't trying to win the job. In the final scrimmage of camp, the two quarterbacks took alternating series. Shedeur threw 3 touchdowns. Flacco threw 2 and orchestrated a 90-yard 2-minute drill that ended in a field goal. It was football at its purest, clean, competitive, smart. As they walked off the field, Flacco clapped Shedeur on the back. You're sharp, he said. You're sneaky, Shedeur replied. Still got zip. Flacco smiled. Don't need to prove anything. Just love the game. Shedeur nodded. Same. The next morning, the coaches met behind closed doors to make their depth chart decisions. And while the press speculated and fans debated, Shedeur sat in the QB room with Flacco, watching film, breaking down coverages, and eating dried mango slices someone had left on the table. No tension. Just tape. No slander. Just football. Because that was the truth about camp battles no one talks about. Sometimes the best competition isn't about beating the other guy. It's about earning his respect. And maybe if you're lucky, learning something from him, too.